Hey, so today we're here to talk about modifications for some of your most common exercise injuries. And a lot of times the people don't start working out because they're afraid of one little thing that's going to hold them back. So instead of worrying about that one thing that's going to hold you back, my assistant's back here and I are going to show you how to do exercises properly so you're keeping yourself safe and then you can keep progressing forward without having to worry about injury. So stay tuned, we're going to show you squats, push-ups, an ab crunch, and finally the most difficult, lunges. All right, so squats is one of those exercises that if you have any type of knee pain, hip pain, low back pain, can be brutal to perform. And it could be something where you're just feeling because you're not doing proper form with it to start off with. So one of the things that we want to make sure that we understand is like what proper form is. The whole idea is you want to make sure that you're not leaning too far forward. And the first thing you're really thinking is you're pushing your hips back like you're sitting down to the toilet in the morning. You don't reach back and feel where it is. You don't put your hand on the seat because that's gross. So you want to do the same exact thing. What you want to do is take the hips all the way back. Go ahead and sit in that brick. Go for it. So you're going to sit all the way back. Now from this position right here, this is proper. Her knees are at 90 degrees, which means that's going to keep that safe. Her chin is up, chest is up. Now from there, she can stand up perfectly. She can. Now, for some people that don't have enough strength, you're not going to be able to do that. So go ahead and sit back down. So what you do in that case is you keep your hands out in front of you. Keep your hands out in front of you to help give a little bit more weight and counter resistance. And that's the next modification. The next, if you still can't get up from there, is going to be to swim out of the bottom and going right back down. Just don't hit your trainer or your husband or your spouse. So that's the next spot. The whole idea again is you're trying to keep your chest up and pull through as you're standing up on each. Now again, one way to test this is to do a squat in front of a wall and just see is your nose staying back behind or not. Your final modification, if you still cannot squat down that way, is you're going to hold on to that pole and you're going to squat all the way back. And it'll be your first time. It'll be your first time working the pole at boot camp, but the goal is to keep going and progressing and getting stronger so that you can do a perfect squat just like Shelly showed. So now we're talking push-ups. So push-ups come into two different body parts that normally get affected, the shoulders and then also the low back. The reason why is because that low back will dip below the hips and you're actually starting to put pressure again, reversing that curvature. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to have Ashley go all the way down flat. Now this is going to be your starting position. You'll see her hands are right behind her shoulders and armpits there. Her knees are on the ground, her feet are off the ground, and if you see her hips are up just a little bit because her abs are engaged. From that position, she's going to push up to the knees. From that spot, her feet will go to the ground and she'll push up and elevate so it's in a full top push-up position. Now, to get back down, she can just drop all the way down flat, just like that, or reversing the process again, she can go up from the knees, pushing up, goes to the toes, and then you would just reverse that same procedure, going back down, knees, and going all the way flat. This is how you protect your back, but this is also how you execute a perfect push-up so that you keep yourself safe and then you can build up strength to do a perfect push-up. Let's see what it looks like. Boom, just like that. And that's how you do a push-up. All right, so when you're doing sit-ups, that's normally a no-go also for anybody with low back pain. And the reason why is because when you're in this position here with your legs out straight, and this can be the same as you're laying in bed, there's actually a gap underneath there, and it's actually putting pressure on the low back towards the belt line and down towards the tailbone. So the first way to relieve that pressure is going to be to bend the knees just a little bit. Now before we do that, we're going to show you what a bad sit-up looks like with your legs all the way straight. Now you'll see she had to actually pull from the low back to lift up, and that's what's causing that pain. So the very first thing she's going to do is bend the knees a little bit and spike the heels down. Hands go overhead, and you're using those hands as momentum to help boost you up. The feet and the knees being bent going that way actually makes a curvature in the low back, so it's already creating the rounding effect as you're going. Now, if that's still too difficult, you'd be surprised, but actually adding weight is going to make it actually easier. So she's going to swing that, it's going to give leverage and momentum, and swing the weight back up. And again, still keeping the knees bent, the heels spiked to create that arch in the low back. The very last thing is if you're still having low back pain with that, or you're having problems with the neck because you're pulling on your neck, bend your knees and you're going to lift from the shoulders and going just like that, either reaching for the feet, reaching for the sky, or hugging at your knees. You're going to feel the same type of effect and have that ab burn, but without having the neck and the low back pain. Okay, so lunges is normally one of those no-way exercises for anybody who ever has knee pain, hip pain, or even foot pain because of the flexion. But most of the time it's either because you're not doing it properly or you have no clue where to start with it. So we're going to show you proper form, using Shelly as our example here. So the whole idea when you stride out, the whole thing is your back knee is what's actually the driver of what's going on. So your back knee flexes and your back toe rolls. You'll see just naturally that front knee bent just because it's going along for the ride. So go back up. So your whole idea, this is the driver, that's doing all the motion, this is going along for the ride. So that's good form. One of the things that people do poorly though is they think that they need to lean forward more and they think that by using their hands they're going to help. Well, if you see there's no real bend going on this backside, but then all of your body weight, 100%, is going onto that front leg, causing a lot of knee pain. So now we're going to apply this to a walking lunge. We're going to start back a little bit. So with a walking lunge, it's a long stride. The back knee does the initial bend, and the back toe does the other bend. That front leg just goes along for the ride, and that's perfect form. Now, we're going to show you poorly. So that way. So leaning forward like that, again, all her body weight's going up over her front leg. You can see her posture's down forward, your lungs are down, your air is down, and that's not going to work right. So again, you're trying to keep everything upright, keep your body in the center. Your very last modification, if you either gravitationally challenge, balance challenge, or just don't have enough strength, you're going to either use one of the poles that we have here at boot camp, or you use one of the bats. So the whole idea is you would hold that, and again, you're trying to get a deep enough stride, and you're using only your back leg to flex and go up and down, and get it up and down going that way. You look like you're from, what's your show you like? Damn it, Game of Thrones.
Yes!
Walking with your lunges and your staff. So the whole idea, guys, is you need to modify what's best for you, because you're not always going to be able to do everything exactly the right way, but if you do it with proper form, you can build up the strength so that you can do a perfect walking lunge.